Welcome to WTF is web3, where we untangle the uncertainties of web3 technologies. Be sure to check out the show notes for more information, giveaways, and ways to stay in touch. You're also going to want to make sure that you're subscribed to our podcast, our YouTube channel, and our private group so you don't miss out on exclusive content, freebies, and much more. If this episode seems like it was stripped out of a longer conversation, that's because it was. This is what we call a shallow dip, because it's basically the opposite of a deep dive, where we're going to give you a brief explanation of a concept, a term, or a topic that we just felt you would dig without having to listen to an entire episode. However, if you do want to listen to the entire episode, I invite you to check out the show notes, because that will get you to that longer episode and you can hear everything in context of the original conversation. Now that we've got that explanation out of the way, let's jump into the episode.
So you just mentioned two terms there, which are abbreviations, not acronyms. AR and VR are very common terms used in technology. Can you just define those real quick for anyone that may not be too familiar?
So VR, most people know, virtual reality. And then AR would be augmented reality. And augmented reality would be, a lot of people are probably familiar with a few years ago, Pokemon Go was an app that was huge for the AR type of experience and really got the name out there. And you would be able to use your phone to look around and parks, and people were running into traffic and doing all this crazy stuff, chasing Pokemon that you can only see through the app, the Pokemon Go app. And it's still out there. I just don't hear as many people running into traffic for it, but you're basically running around looking for these Pokemon in the real world. And you're basically, it'd be just like using your phone's camera. So you're able to see the building that's in there in real life, but then there's a superimposed Pokemon showing there and you're able to capture it. I didn't really play the game. I was actually afraid to get addicted to it because I didn't Chance get addicted to it. One of our very good friends, he was playing it pretty seriously. So I stayed away from it, but
yeah. The Pokemon Go, that's a really good reference point, I think, for a lot of people, because it did sort of permeate through a lot of modern normal society. Mm-hmm. And yes, we did have many friends that were involved. I loved that time because I saw just so many children and kids outside actually running around, exploring things. It helped integrate technology with activity, which was nice for a change. Yeah. But okay, so that's a good definition of AR. And then another one was Google Glass. I think a lot of people remember that like brief, I don't know, little bit of foray into wearables that Google tried to dip their toes into. Didn't last very long, but I believe this year, Meta, Facebook, we'll get into them and where they sort of stand in this ecosystem. But I believe they are coming out with an AR, augmented reality glasses sometime this year or next year. I think in partnership with Ray-Ban, I may be mistaken.
Yeah, I feel like Google was, it was a bit early for it. I think I forget all the details were, but it was years ago and it was like, wow, this is already out. I remember it was one of those things where it's like, wow, we're already there. Like we're already in the future. And they were doing like a limited run. Like they didn't do, like you couldn't just buy them. I think there was like a limit on how many they made, or you had to there's a program you had to apply for or something. It wasn't just something you can go and buy. But I think that's a way for them to like start beta testing and figuring out what the problems are or how people are going to use this, kind of get some behavioral data on there. But imagine, I mean, it's inevitable. If anybody thinks that stuff's not happening just because it didn't.
It definitely is.
Yeah. And then you think about more utilitarian purposes. You're walking, and anything that you'd have to engage your phone for, you can now have your smart glasses and eventually probably contact lenses or your Neuralink that's going to superimpose your contact list or whatever you want to scroll through. You could just use audio or maybe some hand gestures or something like that. But you could say, all right, pull up contacts, call John, FaceTime John, or something like that. And you're going to be able to see this superimposed while also seeing the real world. So you're walking around hands-free, holding, RoboCop. But it's more than just a game is what I'm getting to. And it's going to be driving directions. Instead of you looking down for your GPS, your car is going to have a heads-up display. Your Google Glasses are going to have a heads-up display that illuminates the road in front of you, so you're not having to look down. And your car's going to be driving itself by then, so
Yeah, all that's super interesting, and there's definitely tons of applications for that augmented reality to integrate. Man, I keep having stuff. Integrate this metaverse universe of all this rich data and layer that on top of real world, so you can get the benefits of both. I mentioned that Meta, I believe, is coming out with some augmented reality glasses. I think Microsoft actually is as well, and maybe Amazon. These are some of the big players in this.
All right, that is going to wrap it up for this shallow dip. But if you want more information and more conversation, I invite you to check out the episode notes and our channel, because not only can you listen to the entire conversation from which this clip was stripped, but there's also going to be more episodes that do a deeper dive on this specific topic. Thank you so much for tuning in. I want to make sure you don't forget to check out the information and the links in the show notes. Some of that stuff is going to get you into freebies and raffles and contests and all sorts of other promotions, but also we've got a private group dedicated to our listeners and our followers. We would love to see you there, love to see you collaborate, join, and get exclusive content that we are only distributing through these other means. Speaking of distributing through other means, I want to make sure that you're also subscribed to our podcast, our YouTube channel, and again, join that private group so you know everything that we know as soon as we know it.